Welcome to Game Recognized Game. I'm Breanna Stewart. Myles is on a much-needed vacation after a long NBA season. So I'm here today, joined by a special guest. She is the host of Hoops for Hotties, as well as Full Circle with Lexi Brown on iHeart Women's Sports Network. She has over 1 million followers on social media, and I'm excited to welcome Mariah Rose to Game Recognized Game.
Yay! Yes! Period. Thanks for having me, Stewie. I'm so excited.
Okay, so I wanted to go right off the top and ask you this because this is something that I struggle with. You have 2 shows, not just one show, 2 shows. How do you have enough time in the day to get this done, record, get guests? Tell me, give me some tips, please.
To be honest, Stewie, I feel like having my job be to make fun videos on the internet about basketball is such a blessing. And this is what I did in my free time anyways, with my friends when I was in college, making videos, talking basketball, talking sports, that's been my passion ever since I can remember. So it's not hard. You know what I mean? This feels like FaceTime to me. This isn't... Yeah. It's fine. So it just, you fit it in where you can. And at the end of the day, it's my job. So you kind of got to perfect your craft. And, sometimes you're working while other people are leisuring. It's sports, obviously, this, everyone's there to watch you play and they're all having a good time and having their beers and whatnot. And you got to show up and play. So it's just kind of the same thing. You make sacrifices where you can, but at the end of the day, I love it and it's fun.
Well, I love that. Okay, that gets me into my next question. Basically, you touched on it a little bit. You started doing this in college, but how did you know that this was going to be where you wanted to be? You were doing it as a friend, with your friends and stuff, but now you're taking on an even more serious role. And what got you to make that decision?
Yeah, this didn't exist when I was in school. You know what I'm saying? So I'm thinking I'm going to be a sideline reporter. I'm going to be Malika or doing what Shanae and them are doing. I'm thinking that's the one path into making your voice heard in sports. And then the pandemic hit and I didn't really have the opportunities to go to games and get content for my reel and do the traditional reporter thing. And TikTok musically became TikTok. And I just started making videos for fun. My first viral video was about Giannis Antetokounmpo signing a Supermax deal with the Bucks. And I just was talking. And as, I started getting more views and more likes, I realized, oh my gosh, I could get paid to do this. And it just kind of spiraled from there. But I didn't go into it with an intention of being a content creator or making money because that didn't really exist when I started.
I know you bring up COVID and I'm oh my gosh, what's the craziest thing that you remember from COVID? Right now, what's the craziest thing? What's the thing you'll always think about?
School getting canceled, seeing that the NBA and WNBA were going to be playing in bubbles, the bubble experience. I was what is this? What is going on? I can only imagine it was crazier for y'all. But as a fan, I'm oh, this is real. They're taking this seriously. Mm-hmm. No more fans at games. That was crazy.
This is great. This is wild. But what I remember is we were in this in between period of we didn't know if we were gonna have a season or not, right? So we had to work out. Everybody had to work out separately. And I just came back from Russia. I was playing overseas. Season got canceled, and my mom was living with me, and I was putting my mom through the hardest workouts, outside, living in Seattle, running up hills, and being that's not good enough. Your effort is not good enough for me. So
please.
I'll always remember COVID as my boot camp for my mom.
Oh, I couldn't imagine living with a professional athlete during COVID. I'd be girl, you got it. Can I have the whistle and can I cheer you on? Because this ain't.
Okay, side note. We got sidetracked a little bit. Okay, you said your post about Giannis and his Supermax. Was that your first viral moment? Or what was your first viral moment?
Yeah, well, actually, so my first viral moment had nothing to do with sports. Actually, there was this trend on TikTok where people were, it was COVID. We were all nuts at the time. And people were drinking brown Listerine. Not drinking it, but tasting it for the first time. And it was a viral trend. And I thought everybody was gassing it. I was it can't taste that bad. I gotta try it. So that was my first viral video. Was I went out, I bought the brown Listerine at the store, and I tried it on camera. And I literally said it tasted like I think it tasted like, I said it tastes like Jesus Christ brush my teeth or something. I will never have bad breath again. I won't even be able to imagine bad breath anymore. And people thought it was funny. And so it went viral and it tasted horrible. No, it tasted like gasoline, like for real. But my breath was, I was like, oh, like it was amazing, but it tasted horrible. And then it went viral and I was like, I could flip this into talking about sports, like to help me get eyes on me for my job. So then I started making the sports videos.
I've never tried the brown Listerine, and I'm not gonna try it. I'll take your word for it, honestly. Like,
you're not missing nothing.
Nah. Okay, cool. I like the blue one and the purple one, like, and that's it.
Yep.
Because you're like basically all over the content creation and like everything social media, have you ever posted something and instantly regretted it? And like, what's your advice with that?
Oh my gosh. I've never been asked that before, and I'm glad you asked me that. Yes, I've posted several things that I regret posting. I regret like the first year of my account, because when you first start posting, you don't know how big it can get. So you don't know, like the TikTok algorithm, all of that was new. So I'm not thinking, my day-to-day, I'm seeing like other 19-year-olds at college. Like, I'm not thinking, oh, Stewie is scrolling and she might actually see my post. Oh, like this person or that person might actually see my post. Like, I didn't think of there being any consequences to anything I was saying. And I didn't really have the grasp or the concept of like having a platform and like what I was saying mattering. Like, I was just talking like I would normally talk. And now I'm more careful about the kind of things I say. Obviously, like, I'm a normal person. I'm not a celebrity. And at the end of the day, I always say like my boss is my audience. Like, if they really want to hear about something, I got to talk about it because that's what they want to hear about. But I can control the verbiage I use. I can control how I frame things. Like, I can control like seeing everyone involved as a human being and making sure everything I'm saying is true. But I've definitely been reckless a few times and I've regretted my post for sure.
But you're not just like, basically you're thinking about it a little bit more before just like, like putting it out there. Because like, unless it's something you put out there and then you regret it, then you have to like have a statement behind it. You know what I mean?
I just did that like a week ago. Actually, this wasn't even serious, but I posted about Justin Bieber's Coachella performance. I'm a believer. I love Justin Bieber. I was a little bit disappointed in his first Coachella performance, and I posted about it, and I was like, that didn't eat. Like, I'm sorry. I'm glad I wasn't there. Like, it didn't eat. And then for some reason, like, it was like keeping me up at night because, again, I love Justin Bieber. And I was just thinking about like all he's probably gone through to like get to the point of even performing again like that in front of all those people. And I was like, I came back and made another video the next day and I was like, I shouldn't have said that. Honestly, good for him. And I apologize. Like, I love Justin Bieber and he can perform however he wants. Like, cause I was losing sleep over it. Like, I felt so bad.
Your believer conscience was like really getting to you.
Yes.
So, okay, shout out to Justin Bieber. I thought Coachella was great. I saw the clips from both weekends and wish I was there. But definitely weekend 2 better than weekend 1.
Same.
Okay. Why is it important for you to cover not just women's sports, but sports from a woman's perspective?
Oh my gosh. I think it's starting with the women's sports thing. I've always been interested in women's sports. I was a volleyball player and volleyball will forever be one of my favorite sports. And like, I was the manager for the women's and men's basketball teams when I was in school, and I worked for the women's basketball team when I was at Georgia. And so I have always loved and appreciated women's basketball. And at the beginning of my account, when I would talk about things like the 2K characters and like the differences, or even like just covering the W, like, not a lot of people were doing that. Like, it wasn't like the thing. And I just remember like that year when college like was popping off and it was like, everybody was like Angel Caitlin, and everybody was talking about that. And then like, there was just like this boom, and it just became like, everybody wanted to know more about women's sports. Everybody watches women's sports, but everyone wanted to know more about women's sports because it was like, it was on everyone's timeline. It was genuinely becoming like, it was like the cool thing people want to talk about. I still say now, like when I post women's sports videos, people get more excited and want to know more because like people want somebody to just like kind of give them the information or they want somebody else to talk to about it. And I just think like the most important thing for me from day one is like, I never have seen women's sports as like this secondary thing to like men's sports. It's just sports, like period. Right. Like it's just sports. Right. And so I always thought it was really important to cover both with the same amount of like honesty, transparency, to not just like when you were covering the NBA playoffs, you're not just talking about one team or two teams or trying to pit two players against each other. You're talking about all of the teams that are playing. You're talking about all of the series. Like you're trying to like, there's interesting storylines in all of them. And I think that that should exist in women's sports too. And I think in some cases, it coming from a woman who like is actually seeing y'all as athletes, as people and athletes, and not just like, oh, like the secondary headline is like what's going on in the women's game. Like, I think sometimes it's easier for that to come from a woman because we like see each other and we get it.
For sure. I mean, I think all of that makes sense. And I think that, you know, what's interesting, one thing that you said was like the boom of women's sports, but specifically women's basketball as of late, like there's so much attention, but until we're exactly where we want to be, it's going to be like you have to take the good and also you have to be able to take the bad. And like, because like these NBA players, they're not all getting this good stuff. They're getting the bad stuff too. And it's like, we have to like be able to take that, like take it to the chin and keep it pushing basically.
I think more eyes on anything comes with more criticism as well. But I also like can be conscious of like, I don't want to be that place, you know?
But like, does it ever mentally, is it like draining to you? Because you're getting criticism too, I'm assuming.
Oh my gosh, yes. But honestly, to be honest, my view on like people on the internet, like I genuinely have passed the point of caring what they're saying. Yeah, I just think that people are going to have something negative to say about everything. Like two of my favorite artists in the world are Beyonce and Drake. And I always think about like how much hate they get in their comments. And I'm like, what could you have bad to say about Beyonce? If people can find something bad to say about Beyonce, they gonna find something bad to say about me. So I can, it's fine. I'll live.
You're like, I'm fine. Beyonce can do it. I'm fine. Okay, last question before we wrap this segment. What's a take that you've had recently that you got a lot of pushback on, but you continue to stand by?
First of all, throughout the entire CBA negotiation, I was getting like torn up by men on the internet. They did not like me for like 6 months. Like, and I didn't care. And like, I feel like sometimes when like that happens to me, like I get worse and I try to like really press it. And I think one of my big videos that like they really didn't like and got on the wrong side of Twitter was I was talking about what Steph Curry would make if he were a WNBA player, because it was like, I had read an article about that. And they were comparing it because I think people always hear like, oh, like y'all want to get paid exactly what NBA players get paid. Right. No, blah, blah, blah. No. And I think like putting it in perspective in terms they can understand, I'm like, okay, so if Joel Embiid were playing in the WNBA, like based on this split, this is exactly what this would look like. And it's like, even when I played the facts like that out there in front of them, they still were like, you're stupid. This doesn't make any sense. Da, 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 da. So I think that whole era, so I can only imagine how it was for the actual players and like NECA and everybody like actually like in the fight. But for me on the internet, I felt like I was fighting for my life too. I was like, oh my God, they hate me.
Yeah, the CBA was a lot, but we made it through. And now we have a historic deal to talk about. So we don't have to do that comparison thing anymore. You know what? Like the NBA, they can have what they had and we got what we got.
Amen.
All right, time for a quick break. Next up, we'll talk WNBA season, NBA playoffs. Please rate, review, and subscribe to Game Recognized Game with Stewie and Myles, wherever you get your podcasts. Welcome back to Game Recognized Game with Stewie and Myles. Today, I'm joined by Mariah Rose, and we're going to do a few rapid fire questions. I'll give you a few seconds to think about it, but like not a lot, okay?
Okay, I got you.
Who is your favorite basketball player to cover right now in the men's and women's side?
Okay, my favorite basketball player to cover on the women's side, I would probably say Asia because that's my twin. Like everybody be saying
Okay.
Asia's my twin, but
Shout out
I just
Asia.
she all of the just cool stuff she's got going on right now, like that ad of her the other day in the late night chair. I'm just like, she on the court, off the court, like girl's got it going on. So she's always fun to talk about. And then on the men's side, I gotta say Steph Curry, like just because Steph Curry's a big reason I fell in love with basketball, and he's not even playing, and he's still my favorite.
I know. I'm sad that the Warriors are not in the playoffs. We'll talk about that later. Okay. Most underrated player in terms of personality. Like, who's someone that has a lot of personality? Let's stick to the women's side, the W side. Like, tons of personality, but you don't always see it, or maybe people don't know.
Oh my God, that's a really good one. Honestly, like this is kind of a cop-out answer. I'll give you a real answer, but what pops into my head is I think women are so good at like celebrity. I think that now that people are seeing y'all more, it feels like, oh my God, like this is so cool. There's so much going on. But it's always been like y'all always have been talking trash. Always. That was always a thing. Always. Like the mouths. There's always been like storylines, like people thinking like y'all playing hard defense and everything is a new thing. Not a new thing. It's always been that way. So I honestly just think like, overall, as a league, there is a lot of personality going on in the W. I am looking forward to people getting to know this new draft class. I got to interview a few of them. I thought Olivia Myles, like, hyping herself up at the draft, that caught a lot of people off guard. Like, they were like, whoa, like, how could she say that, like, about herself? And it's like, no, they got confidence. So I'm excited for people to get to know this new draft class.
I was thinking that this draft class too, like there's a few personalities that you do know, like Flaw, like her personality and that's going to come across. But there's some that we haven't really seen on the college level that I think we'll see at this stage now.
Agreed.
Preseason, WNBA MVP. This is like the early pick. And then I want to know who your NBA MVP is.
Ooh, okay. God, I can't believe, honestly, talking to you, you're up there.
Right.
So that's already like,
thank you.
Like if I were to like flip a coin and like, I would be like doing probability, like it's like you or Asia, like I would be wrong either way. You know what I'm saying? Like if I had to guess and I was like throwing a rock and like guessing. But honestly, that team you got, listen, Stewie, you could make a case for yourself, girl.
Thank you. Honestly, Perry and Mariah, come on my show and say that to me. Cool. Love that.
Yes.
Who do you think is going to win the NBA MVP? But me and Myles argue about this.
Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is going to win it. He's going to win it. Like, he's going to win it. And I think Wemby he's going to make a strong case for himself for like the rest of his career. And definitely for Defensive Player of the Year. They might as well just rename the award the Victor Wembanyama Defensive Player of the Year award because that's his for the foreseeable future. But SGA is winning it this year. I don't think there's any ifs, ands, or buts about it. And if he doesn't, I am going to be shocked. Him winning Clutch Player of the Year kind of like made me be like, whoa, is he gonna win it? But I still think he's gonna win it.
I told Myles that I think Cade is gonna win it. Because they said that he met the criteria.
Really?
Because of his collapsed lung, they said that he still is available for postseason awards. The team is the number one team. Let's see.
And I wouldn't be mad at that. Like, it's not like he's undeserving, Like, I wouldn't be mad at that.
Okay, we're gonna see what happens later. What free agency move was the one that like caught you the most surprised?
Angel to Atlanta because I live here and I did not see that coming. And to go from a situation where you're on a team that's just not winning, right? To being in a situation on a playoff team that like really should have gone farther than we did, to be honest. Like that was an upset against the Fever. But to go from the situation she was in to being in Atlanta. And I just think she fits the culture so well. And then I also just have to say, Satou, really, that gagged me. Y'all gagged me down. I did not see that coming. So those two, those were the ones that I got that notification and my jaw dropped.
So we're going to see you, Atlanta, at the Dream Game versus Liberty, right? We're going to see you there.
I was at y'all's season opener last year, so y'all will definitely see me.
And what'd you think? I mean, we smoked them that game. We smoked Vegas that game.
Y'all.
And then it was.
Yeah, y'all got one of the best environments, like, in sports. Like, I'm not talking women's sports. I'm talking, like, in general. Y'all's fan base is mad they love y'all in New York. I like Barclays just in general. Like, the vibes are so good, but the fans, like, they don't play. And for it to be, like you said, y'all, it was convincing. It wasn't like it was like we were on the edge of our seats the whole time, and it was still loud in there. Like, the whole thing, I had a great time. And Ellie, of course, like, come on.
I know. Literally, shout out to our fans, because they literally show up for us all day, every day. And like you said, not all places are like that. Like, some places are loud, right? But they're not. Like, our fans are invested. Like, every single play, what's happening, what's going on the court, what's going to happen next. And as players, we feel that. Mm-hmm. What's the biggest story in basketball that's not being talked about enough?
Honestly, I think that people beat the mess out of some basketball stories that are, like, unnecessary. But you know what I think is interesting, Stewie? I think with the expansion teams in the W, I think that it's interesting, like, that nobody's really mentioning how much harder it's going to continue to be to make the playoffs. Because, like, are they gonna, like, they're not gonna add more playoff teams, right? So it's just gonna continue to be more difficult to make the playoffs. That's what I think is really interesting. And, like, I feel like it's just going to become more and more of a dogfight every single year. Like, there will be, like, it will get to a point, and, like, what? The last one that we know about is coming in 2029 or 2030. Like, we're going to get to a point where there's going to be no mediocrity at all. Not saying there is now, but you know what I mean? Like, in the playoffs, it's going to be like a dogfight to just be in. And then once you're in, the playoffs themselves are going to continue to just rise in competition, because, like, the competition in the W is already so stiff because there are so little opportunities. There's so many talented women's basketball players, and there's only so many spots in the WNBA. And with the influx of international players as well, because the money's up, honey. Right. Like, there's just going to be more people and more competition, and it's going to be crazy.
I mean, you literally just made me think about it. Like, 7 teams are not going to make the playoffs this year. That's nuts.
Yeah.
We have 15 teams in this league, and half of them are not going to make the playoffs unless they, like, change the format, which I haven't heard anything about. Like, that's a lot.
Exactly. So I think, like, a lot of people aren't thinking that, like, the impact of the CBA and more players, like, from overseas and stuff are going to definitely be more, like, enticed to come in and yada, yada, yada. And then on top of that, you got half the league is about to not be in the playoffs, and more teams are coming. So
I don't know. We're going to have to just keep thinking about that one. Time for one more break. Next up, we go off the court and get personal. Welcome back to Game Recognized Game with Stewie and Myles, and I'm with Mariah Rose, and it's time to get a little bit personal. Okay, so just jump right into it. Who in your life inspired you the most to become the person you are today?
My mom. It's not even close. It's not even a competition. I think I always tell people, me falling in love with basketball was, like, my brother being a basketball player and just hearing what my mom would say to him when we would get in the car after his games. Like, just, like, all of, like, you know, her being so invested and so in it made me so in it as well. And I think the mom of a player is such an interesting perspective, because they know everything that's going on with the coach, with the players, with the teams, with their child. Like, and she just overall is just such a strong and powerful woman with so strong of opinions that she isn't afraid to share. So 100% her.
Shout out to moms. Honestly, Mother's Day is coming up, so happy Mother's Day to all the moms. What's something that you're, like, most proud of in your career so far?
I think, number one, the relationships I've been able to build with some of my favorite people, like athletes and just people who've like reached out to me that they love my stuff. I always get nervous when people see my stuff that I'm like, are they going to hate me? Like that I'm like talking about this or like whatever. And people are like the attention you're bringing to sports and like your perspective. And I think another thing is just like helping women feel seen in this world of sports. Like so many women have told me like, I was able to talk to my boss about sports, to enter a conversation, to be able to get a raise because of you. I've had moms that have reached out to me and said, I literally have nothing to speak to my teenage son about. And like your NFL video gave me something to talk to him about at dinner, or just stories like that. You never realize how your content or what you're doing is going to impact other people. And the fact that I've been able to impact other people positively through sports has just been beautiful.
That's super inspiring, just the way that you're able to like reach people through all types of different sports and communities. And the mom stuff is cool. Being able to kind of talk to their kids about sports when they have really no idea and they're informed because of you. So shout out to you. Really. You're doing a great job.
Thank you.
Like, what's your next goal? What's your next, like, you know, like as athletes, I'm like, all right, well, I want to win this, and then I want to win this, and then I want to do this. So like for you, like what's next? Like what you want to do next?
Whenever people ask me that, I'm not going to lie. I always say my job didn't exist. When I got to college and they asked me what I wanted to do when I grew up, there was no TikTok. So I never know what's coming for me. And God has always filled my cup with plenty of opportunity. My biggest thing, and you bring up the athlete thing, is like getting 1% better every single day, like making sure I'm on my grind at being consistent. Like I can't control the numbers. I can't control which brands want to work with me. I can't control which athletes want to talk to me. Like I can't control any of that. But what I can control is I'm getting up, I'm doing my research, I'm making sure my content is accurate, and I'm making sure like I'm getting out there as much as possible. I think my biggest thing this year really has just been consistency, Stewie. Like, I just want to make sure that I'm getting up, and as long as I'm doing everything I can do to make sure I'm putting myself in the right positions for success, I feel like the right opportunities are going to come to me. But that's my biggest thing, is just staying consistent.
I love it. I feel like you're like on it. Like, you know, nobody sees all the behind the scenes stuff that you're doing. You know, with all the information you're putting out there, you're like really working. It's
Right.
like a grind. It's not a 9 to 5. It's like literally a 12 to 12. Sports never stops.
Yeah, it's 24/7.
Okay, so I have a question. You've called yourself an athlete kid before, right? What advice would you give to me as an athlete parent?
Oh my gosh. I love this question. Like, it might be my favorite question I've ever been asked ever. I think the biggest thing ever is communication with your children. Like, just talking to them about what you got going on. Like, because to them, you're just mom. Like, they don't care about how many championships you won. They don't care where you went to college. They don't care about none of that. They just want to know, what did mom do today? What's going on? So I would say communication is the biggest thing. And I think when you're committed to a craft, right, and you're great at something, it's hard to like do everything, especially as moms. Like, there's so much like guilt women get for like, you know, chasing after your dreams and like being a good parent and whatnot. So I would just say for you, I think the biggest example is like standing in your truth and being great at what you do, and like having a good relationship with your children through that. Like, they're going to really appreciate the fact that you like went after your goals and that you accomplished so much. Like, they're going to be like such fire people because of you. So I think continuing to like be on your grind and let them know like what it takes, and like bring them along with you on the journey, rather than like it be like, I'm just doing this and you're just kind of like finding out with the rest of the world. Like, nah, you're in it with me, is going to go so far. And like, you're just going to be super woman to them.
That's like my biggest thing, is like they have no idea all the things that we're doing, but I want them to be a part of it. Because even when they went to the preseason game the other day, and they were like, we went to the basketball game, and they're so excited because they don't come all the time because the games are so late. And they just love it, you know? They love to be around. They don't know what's happening on the court. Like, my kids think I win all the time, which, like, usually I do win. But, like, sometimes when I lose, it's nice to have that perspective of them being like, great job, you know?
I was going to say, they think you win all the time because you kind of do.
I know, but like when I go home and I have a loss, they're like, "Oh, mommy, you did great." Like Ruby the other day was like, "Mommy, I'm proud of you," and I was like,
and that oh, that is so sweet. And I think like what kind of person you are off the court is always gonna go farther. Like, you know, you could have 17 million signature shoes and you could suck. Like, I mean, being in like the industry or whatever, like you meet people are different all types of ways, but like your kids, they know you and they see you. So as long as like you're being an exemplary human off the court, which of course, like you've been great, obviously, but they can see things other people can't. And like, I think that you're going to be great. I mean, moms are already superheroes, but I can only imagine if my mom was winning championships and MVPs and out here grinding like you.
I appreciate that. Okay, my last question is, do you have any question for me?
Number one, what do you think is like the toughest thing about your job that nobody sees? And number two, do you have any crazy pregame rituals?
Number one, the toughest thing about my job that nobody sees is probably like the time management. You know, being able to kind of make it all work in the day and not cutting my workout short or anything like that. Like tomorrow, for example, I'm gonna wake up and I have like a panel to go to in the morning from like 8 to 9, but then I got to go to the gym because we have film at 10:30 and then we have practice and then I have another dinner at night. And it's like, you know, you want to be putting your hands in a lot of different buckets to continue to meet people and also things that you're really wanting to be a part of, but making sure that it's balanced and having me time as well. So like I've learned a lot about how to say no. Even when I don't want to say no, it's just like my body needs it a little bit. My pregame ritual, like this is one that I just like always do. I drive to the gym, I drive to Barclays, and I'm listening to Meek Mill's Championships album from the top to the bottom. Like that's all I want to hear. If you come in my car, if you're my grandpa, you come in the car. Grandpa, we are listening to this album. Like whoever it is, this is what we're listening to. This is how I get like locked in. Like that's my like game day album. I don't listen to it any other time.
That's iconic. Have you been doing that forever?
I've been doing that for like a while. I think like basically since all my W championships.
Wow. Yeah, you're like, okay, I won. This album's playing. Where is this album? Like, I'm not listening to nothing else.
You know, when you just have something and you're like, this works. That for me, that works.
Period. I did not think you were going to say that, but that ate.
That's a wrap. Thanks for checking us out. Please rate, review, and subscribe to Game Recognized Game. And we'll see you next time. And Mariah, see you at a Liberty game in New York.
I'll be there.